The Earth is full of mysteries that even science cannot explain. Some of these mysteries are good, while others can be bad or even deadly. From earthquakes to tsunamis, there are many ways that an entire city can vanish in just a few minutes. And that's exactly what we'll be taking a look at today. From a city swallowed by a giant wave to another that literally exploded overnight, here are the top 5 cities that vanished overnight. Number 5. Shapochnik. The first city on our list comes from Russia, and it's one that was completely destroyed in a matter of seconds. The city was called Shapochnik, and it was located in the southern part of the country. It was home to over 60,000 people who worked mainly in agriculture. But unfortunately, after decades of use, the concrete dam that held back water from the nearby river began to show signs of wear and tear. Officials were aware of the situation, but they did undo much about it, since they had been trying to get funding to repair the dam for over a decade, without any success. But all that changed when a typhoon struck the area, causing the nearby river to flood. The dam simply could not hold back the amount of water that was rushing towards it, and so on July 27, 2013, the dam collapsed, releasing a wall of water over 20 feet high that rushed towards the town. Residents had less than 2 hours to evacuate before the water arrived. Sadly, however, many of them were asleep when the evacuation order came through, and some were unable to leave because their homes were cut off by the rising water. When the water finally hit the city, it completely obliterated it. There wasn't a single building left standing, and sadly, 70 people lost their lives. The Russian government did eventually release funds to help rebuild the city, and today, a new city called Novosibirsk stands in its place. Number 4. Homs. Our next city was once a thriving metropolis that played an important role during the Crusades. Located in Syria, the city once boasted around 180,000 residents who lived within its impressive walls. They lived alongside various ethnic and religious groups, including Christians, Muslims, and Jews. These people built schools, churches, mosques, and synagogues side by side, and everyone seemed to be living in harmony. But sadly, this wouldn't last for long. The First Crusade reached the city in 1098 and besieged it for 40 days. When the Crusaders finally entered the city, they went on a rampage, killing everyone they met. Even though the townspeople surrendered before the siege ended, the Crusaders continued to attack them and killed around 10,000 people. As you can imagine, things didn't really improve after that. The city suffered attacks from various other groups throughout history, with the most recent being in 2011 when the Syrian civil war began. Government forces loyal to Bashar al-Assad attacked the city, causing hundreds of thousands of people to flee. Most of the ancient parts of the city were also destroyed during the fighting. Since then, the city has become a shadow of its former self, and most of the buildings have either been burned down or completely demolished. No. 3. Lion City. Lion City is an ancient city located in China, and it gets its name from 2 stone lions that used to guard the entrance to the main temple. Unfortunately, there isn't much left of the city today, and what remains can be found scattered throughout to museums and several private collections. But what happened to it? Well, legend has it that the city was founded by a descendant of the legendary ruler Qin Shi Huang, who united much of China under his rule in the 3rd century BC. However, there's no real evidence to support this claim. In fact, the only archaeological evidence dates the city back to the Tang dynasty between the years 618 and 907 AD. During this time, the city flourished and became a popular stop along the Silk Road. Sadly, this wouldn't last forever. Between 907 and 960 AD, China fell into a period known as the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period, which was marked by constant warfare between various local lords. This led to the destruction of the city, with many of its residents fleeing to nearby Chongqing. Then centuries later, an earthquake struck the region in 1542, which caused even more damage to the already abandoned city. Today, visitors can explore the ruins of the city and see the remnants of the stone lions that gave it its name. No. 2. New Madrid. New Madrid is a town located in Tennessee, and it's the county seat of Lake County. According to the 2020 census, there were around 11,500 residents living here. But if you visited the town today, you wouldn't find a single person. You see, in December of 1848, a series of earthquakes struck the area, with the largest reaching a magnitude of 7.2 to 7.4. This made it the largest earthquake in U.S. history. But sadly, this wasn't a one-off event. The New Madrid seismic zone has been seismically active for centuries. In fact, it's responsible for 13 of the 15 strongest earthquakes to ever hit the contiguous United States. After the earthquake, people began to flee the town and the surrounding areas, with some heading further south to Arkansas. Others moved east to Kentucky and Tennessee. Eventually, the town was completely abandoned and turned into a ghost town. To this day, not a single person calls New Madrid home. But it's not the only American city to suffer this fate. Number 1. Centralia. If you thought New Madrid was scary, wait until you hear about Centralia. Located in Pennsylvania, Centralia was once a thriving mining town that was home to around 2,700 people. But today, it's a ghost town with not a single resident. So what happened here? Well, everything started back in 1962, when a mine that had been dug under the town collapsed. At first, no one really cared since the mine had been inactive for years. But soon they realized that there was smoke coming out of the ground. And a few weeks later, a manhole cover blew off, releasing a massive amount of carbon monoxide gas. Luckily, he was able to escape without injury, but officials knew they needed to evacuate the town as soon as possible. The underground mine had somehow caught fire, and it was burning hotter than 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. No one knows exactly what caused the fire, but it's believed that a miner left a small flame burning before he went home for the night. Whatever the case, the town was evacuated, and it's remained that way ever since. The mine fire still burns today, and it's slowly destroying the town above it. The buildings are literally sinking into the ground, and the whole town could collapse at any moment. So if you're anywhere near Centralia, watch your step, because it might save your life. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it for more videos about amazing discoveries in history.